with
Correct.
returns coming in. All right.
And how fast it coming to?
Good. Now, we all know in Guyana, and this is everybody in the panel here, we already know that every artist in Guyana is not going to be getting 5, 6 events per week.
Correct.
All right. However, what, as in my estimation, a manager should be thinking about is how do I get a particular artist to perform 6 times a week? All right. Now, I'll give you some
Mm.
suggestions. And again, we all will share ideas, but this is my
Yeah.
idea. This is my suggestion.
Yeah.
What if, because we've got several prominent hotels, all right?
Yeah.
We've also have several lounges and bars
Yeah.
across the country. We're talking about from Berbice all the way
Yeah.
to Georgetown, all right?
Yeah.
Now, what if the because each in my estimation each artist really has to have a representative. That is a non that is without saying. So
Yep.
those managers are supposed to be going out to from starting from all the way in Crabwood Creek from Mahogany Hotel and coming all the way down right to all the bars, resorts, lounges, and try to arrange. Because one of the things I think our artists do, they sit there and they're hoping that a manager is going to get with one of the major promoters to get them on a big stage. But what
Yeah.
about?
Well, let chip in the part.
Uh-huh.
Well, what you said that I been doing for a while. I had to Marriott, Pegasus, all the hotels I go to,
Mm-hmm.
giving them a package, presenting them a package, and those stuff. And
With
some of the
success?
some few.
Okay.
Some of them saying in other way, well, this one of the things I keep telling artists that it's all about awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them may know the person, they're gonna get back to you. The person who in charge of entertainment is not around, and those
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
Yeah.
Some of them we volunteer for just to raise awareness for the artists. Like, okay, we're gonna do a pro bono today, and hopefully you accept the promoter, you're gonna book us another time.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them tone it down, the type of music, a lot of excuse a lot of hotels just give.
No, but no, hold on.
Probably.
One sec.
Mhm.
Again, the perspective in which you look at a particular thing is what makes it a
Mhm.
problem. All right.
Mhm.
The two of us will look at something happening, and I will not look at it as a problem. I would look at it as an opportunity. All right.
Mhm.
Now, one of the things you have to take into mind, Safi, if they did tell you about the music, you have to think about it
Mhm.
in this way. How then, which artist I should really be presenting to them? Because all artists can't work for every single
Yeah,
event or
correct,
venue.
correct,
All right.
correct.
So you've got
But
to make
what I
selective choices. Hold on one sec. You got to make selective choices, as in, for example, I will use those artists who have the music that dance, the soca music, that kind of music, because I can then market that to a hotel when they have an event, not only an event or a party, or even as part of their entertainment package.
understand. Well,
All right.
what I normally do when I go to these places, I work with flash drives. And
Mm-hmm.
the artists them I work with, I separate each one of their music and I
Mm-hmm.
present it to them and say, man, can you just listen to the music on the flash drive and which one you feel pleased of,
Mm-hmm.
whether booking or doing a pro bono with them, get back to me and those stuff. And you know, they never did. And when they do check back sometimes, it's
But
they believe
but
in my experience, they behave like you know, you're pest to them. But I always say, in my stuff, I will go again and give you call me a pest because when you pick
but
up your phone,
Mm.
Hold on. When you pick up your phone, you get 6, 7, 8 message from DDCL and you can't go telling me you're pissed. This day basis and my business is to appear and appear and appear till you either buy in or I get fed up.
Okay.
You understand? So with that now, for me, right, is that awareness and promoting ourselves. This is the most important thing. Like I keep telling artists, the artists I work with, singing 50 songs doesn't make sense. I release them because you can sing our 50 and what do we do with promotion? So my object to them is I always say, let's take our time, do a good project, and work on the promoting of the project because,
All right.
like I
All
said
right.
already,
Let me say this, Safi. On the
yeah.
issue, now that you mentioned project, on the project, right? This is what
Hmm.
this is why we always get back to what is called the business of it.
Yeah.
What type of investment really goes into, let's say, the production of a song when it's what, $5,000 an hour in the studios?
It depends on which studio you go to.
Okay, but is there a
Mhm.
ballpark that you can say that of investment that says goes into the production of one song?
Well, in with the record, let me use the recording project. Some is normally be like 30 to 50 grand if you want a good project. If you're going to invest and you're going to do a good project where you work out whether you're going to build the beat or you're going to work with studio with their beat, depends on the arrangement. So
Hmm.
let me say between 30 to 50 grand, let me say in Guyana, will give you a reasonable, good quality project. There's just the recording
Well,
aspect of it.
all right. Well, I'm not trying to at any point to knock at anybody, but what you exactly telling me there is that you're spending $150 US.
Mm.
All right, you're spending
Mm-hmm.
$150 US to produce a
Mm-hmm.
song, to produce a song,
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
or
that's
e-
mediocre.
even if you extend it to the 250. All right,
All
that
right. Mm-hmm.
even if you go for the 50,000, which works out to be just about $250 US.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you would realize, Safi, that those figures are astronomically low. And when we
Yeah,
say
we know that.
we know this, but I'm explaining to you that being that is that astronomically low, there is no way, and this is where the I know a lot of people are gonna be riled up about this, but
Mm.
again, once it costs that little, that minimum, there is no way that you're gonna have a production that rises to a certain level. And this is no joke. Now let me point this out now. Now Jackie was on a live last evening. And one of the things that I mentioned, and I mentioned this earlier, that I thought that was really impressive
Mm.
about what she did, was the ability to pull several elements together, from Vijay to Sami to the music school for somebody to play a violin. All those elements were pulled in order to make just one song. And you're talking about
Correct.
having several producers collaborate. Daryl Pugsley, Vijay, Ian Johnson also was on that. So you have
Mm.
a collaboration happening just for one song, just on one song.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now that is what is needed, and this is what we're talking about when we have our discussions: is how we use the best elements that we have in our creative industries to bring out the best product. And this is not about if I don't like this person, or we not in the same crew
Correct.
or clique. All right. This is about
Correct.
who does the best in this particular field. This is the person we need to get the project done. All right.
Yeah, well, I agree 100% on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like from my experience, what is the influx of what we are receiving, right? And and to my observation is that project of the outcome of the recording comes a big way. Clarity, content, poetry comes a big way, right? It still lives on the agreement, it still lives on the understanding of a producer, of an artist, and the word comfort. We know many hands make light work. It still depends on the project. And when the project is finished, right, the major part for me is promotion and awareness of the project, right? And like I always say, everybody different ear song, everybody different belief of quality, content, and those stuff. You understand me? So when a project is done, it still leads to the comfort of the artist, of the producer of the beat, and those stuff. And it's still a time span where it comes to the project going out. Sometimes a project lasts a day, sometimes lasts 5 years. It depends on the project and the comfort of the artist. And as I said already, it depends on the artist if they feel comfortable of the project and say, okay, they think this project is suitable for distribution and this it's suitable for okay, the listeners will love it.
All right.
Now
No.
you as the
Yo,
Mhm.
listen, Malachi, don't not trying to be taking man.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know Martin is the most suitable person at least to get a little word from militant.
Yeah.
So
About
I
yeah.
think Martin is the most suitable man to chip in and pull some of
Yeah.
what militant have to say tonight, man.
Well, let me pick up what Safi was saying actually, because it's management, right? And we're both in the same
Well,
exact field. Now, I do agree that some of the things that we would have been doing is plausible in the event whereby you're reaching out to the hotels, you're reaching out to the various venues and all these things, right? What I don't agree with is the fact that you are taking the management position and turning it into a label position. So the label position acts in every capacity, right? Whereby the manager now just acts as artist, what do you have to present to the world? Your job now is to take whatever they have to present and maximize that to the best of your ability. You don't have to worry about sponsorship. You don't have to worry about anything else, right? Now, when you step out of that fitted managerial position, right?
Mhm.
Because we think simple. We show up to the event, we collect the money, we make sure the contract good, make sure the art is comfortable. We job done.
Yeah.
We job is the easiest part of the job, I believe, in the business,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But it is a little bit technical for managers in general, whereby we have to then step out and be the sound man sometime because we know the DJ or the band messing up we artist sound because we know what it's supposed to sound like, right?
Correct.
Mhm.
Correct.
The financial part, the signing a contract, we know for sure this don't make sense because you can't benefit, and if you can't benefit, the artist can't benefit.
Benefit.
So we now end up playing the role of an attorney pretty much, right?
Correct.
So it's understanding that you have a good grip on what exactly you need to do for the business, and I definitely have to applaud you for that. Aside from that, what do you think that we could be doing better? Because I don't know it all. You don't know it all. Everybody else don't know it all.
You know, it's like the question there, is a very, very, very tough question for answer. Because no, because the reason, right, doing it better. When it comes, let me come to artist way,
Mm,
right? The artist doing it better. Personally, only I think they can just raise awareness, whereas good product and awareness. This is two
mm,
key points. Good product and awareness. We is very judgmental in Guyana concerning we own product. Though we get far, could go to far to infinity, better product and what is coming into our country, right? What Guyana is looking for. We know people talk about international market. International market gotta live internationally. Because the reason why I'm saying that is okay, your song meet internationally.
I hold on, Safi. I don't think you have to live internationally because they're
No. The reason why I said that, right, is that we use the social media aspect of promoting your music, right? Whereas, as much as I say, people when they talk about boost on Facebook, when I talk about boost on you, it still doesn't meet the type of listeners you want to meet. Like I can remember Photo I was talking about Massacre when he said when Massacre boost his song, sometimes the boost sky to Africa, the boost sky to Japan. So we boost is I don't know much about social media when it comes to the boost, but the things I know is that when you boost, it still determine where your music. You gotta remember, for me, I was trying to remember
where the boost actually the boost gives you an option, you know, of the area that you wanna be and how much you want to spend. So that's what the boost.
Correct.
It reaches more people according to the amount of money, and also it depicts an area with that you want to connect with.
Well, on that very topic, on that very topic, Sherwin. Yeah, go ahead.
DJ Safi, back to on the topic of the social media boosting, right? But before you even market the song, the first thing I think that you have to know and the artists have to know who this song is for.
Correct.
Is this song for male and female 18 to 25 years old? Are they supposed to be living in the Caribbean?
They also give you the age group.
I know all of them.
Good. So when you boost in a song, there's a part where you you specify the demographics. They call it the demographics.
You boost the attention.
Good. You know exactly who you're
saying. You target a certain demographics. But sometimes music don't work out like that. Yeah?
That's why I mentioned what you're looking to put out and what people want. Because sometimes what you're looking to put out, you might say, this is what the people want. And sometimes it's not what the people want. And I always try my best to look not on what's trending from the major distributors of music like soca and dancehall. There are things that are trending and flowing there. Should I continue there, or should I do what's missing from there and capitalize it? So everybody here, I want to hear something different, and you have that what the person wants to hear different, because when we use the trending things right now, most of coming out to Jamaica is shopping, scamming, and badness. So should I continue there? It's gonna be harder for me to include a badness sound, whatever. We're into that flow when I'm one person from Guyana, 5,000 from Jamaica, 2,000 from Trinidad, in that same category of scamming, gangster song, and those stuff. What we do, we enter the girl segment, whereas a lot of girl music, a lot of daggery music is missing. What we do, we capitalize, find the right beat. I think Matic have a song on a rhythm called 5%. Real nice rhythm. Well, so far in Guyana, when I play it and those stuff, we get the flow. So what we do, we're gonna market that. Let's add another song on the back.
Let me ask you something, Safi. When you say you think it's a bad rhythm, you're gonna market that. I want you to kind of outline the mechanism, because there is a mechanism for testing the waters with a song. Because what I think we lack with what we're doing in coordinating the music, hold on, is to get the music tested out there first, get a feeler, so that people and see which song is getting attraction first before we decide, okay, we're gonna go full blast behind a particular
all right. For me,
hold on, just before you explain, right? Are you speaking directly from a manager point of view or a DJ point of view? That is the most important part I want to know.
This is what I was going to answer Malachi, right? Well, as a DJ, I learned from a lot of people on the outside how to try to best to boost a song when it comes to parties, when it comes to certain social media aspect of it. So what I do is basically live with no audience. I go create a background pretending I'm in a dance, set up the lighting, juggling, bomba, that's how wicked. They're seeing me, they're not seeing in the crowd. So what I'm selling them is basically a false hype. But they are still there, they are feeling that, yo, this song, yo, big up the girl, yo, the girl got fat ass, what dance a song, you know, yo, look, nobody's in front of me. So I'm trying my best to sell it in a way. You understand me? That's one aspect. The other aspect is definitely trying to reach out to local dancers, work out a deal with them to dance with the song, depends on the song. You understand me? To sell it. When I have the opportunity to be in a party, I always got a friend have a camera phone. And with my friend, like, yo, put on a video for me. And I sell the song in a dance. Because basically people are followers. So once something following curiosity, gonna send them to query about what people are following.
Correct. So my concern, right, with what you're saying exactly, that's why I asked you to differentiate it when you're speaking between the manager and the DJ, because you wear both hats on a constant basis, right? So my concern is, you mentioned before you mentioned determine the sound that you're going to push out to the people. Now, how do you actually determine the sound you're going to push out to the people as a manager? Because as a manager, your job is to take all the sound, good and bad, and execute it.
Yeah, but it depends on the market. Would you know that you're planting various fruits and in Georgetown have 20,000 persons selling Bora? People will discuss a Bora. When you step in with okra, by AL-ameen need to okra. So you're gonna be the individual right now with something different where people gonna have a oh gosh, I feel a bit in Bora. You traverse in the market and you see me selling okra. So right away I give you a different choice.
So here with that, the problem
here
the problem, brother. You as the seller should be selling both, not just one. Right?
I sell both, but how I sell both, I will not carry both in the same market. I don't carry both in the same market. If there's another market selling a set of okra, I carry Bora there. This is what I'm trying to tell you.
That's it.
No.
Correct.
No, you mentioned something earlier which I kind of want to zoom in on a little bit. You said when you reach out to the business community, right? You find that there is a bit of rejection for the content. All right. No. What and again, don't look at it from a certain perspective. What I'm telling you is that you need to change your perspective of how you look at it. Once that happens, that means that you've got to perfect the way you're delivering. Either you're delivering that content or the content needs to be at another level.
Well, all right. Down to that. A trick when I'm gonna let out this trick right now. A trick what I do sometimes is basically find out who's the manager for that building. What is a male try to approach, and I have few friends, dress them sexy, female friends dress them sexy and approach, let it be the front runner to see if our physique or where or she put over a deal
you gotta watch
they will buy
this,
into.
You gotta watch this, Safi. This song pimpish.
You don't want to end up like Diddy.
No. You gotta listen to me.
Look,
All right.
Listen, we're in the real world, right?
All right.
I mean,
We being real. We being real. You gotta ask yourself. You gotta ask yourself, why do casino hotels? You ever see a fat girl working a waitress so easy? Or you ever see an ugly girl doing these things? You ever see an ugly receptionist? It's like, so sex sells, and most men like buy into that. So you gotta be real with it. Most men buy into that.
I didn't hear about.
Now, since 2024, woman doing the same thing too. So I do acknowledge your model, right?
Yeah, but
it's a good one.
Listen, I feel that approach. I feel that approach is a DJ approach. I won't say that is a managerial approach.
Listen to me.
That's a DJ.
It's like I watch American Gangster. I watch American Gangster. Two things alone from it. If it ain't the hood, you dress like the hood. If it ain't Bel Air, you gotta dress like it ain't Bel Air. If it ain't the hood, you speak like in the hood. If it ain't Bel Air, good afternoon, sir. Are you hope all is well? The day is going great. Exactly. Your approach have to be to fit in. It's like me. I talking much here. Most of my talking on here Guyanese. I want to talk about the DJ aspect. You see a chance for talking bomba clat and ray. It's because of the environment we are in. You see? So I practice myself to approach the environment we are in. You have to have close to it. You have to have approach it. Sometimes I go into environment, I dress like a full rasta. Sometimes I go into environment, I think I gotta get back right now. It's some blazers. And as I always advise all artists, whether male or female, to acquire 3 or 4 blazers. Yes, blazers could wear with anything, a short pants, a long pants, anything is the approach. I see people, I big up Raw Tony and it make a laugh. Whereas I see Raw Tony when you used to do NCN, I see guys here, we're gonna do sports news. I see Raw Tony with slippers and a short pants and a nice jersey. But when I watch Raw Tony doing the news, Raw Tony got on a nice decent jersey with the blazers. You ain't seen Raw Tony bottom, got to get on a slippers and a short pants. So you have to know to trick the appearance. So these are the things I try my best to work. Huh?
Sell the appearance, sell it. I don't like to use the word trick.
So these are the things. Right now, let's
presentation. Improvise. That's improvisation, actually. Improvising with what you have.
You see, the problem, bro, let me give you an example. Like, I hope me that as a person, I traverse the internet thing. Like, for instance, when Rude Boy drink approach in Guyana, right away, I call me artist. I say, yo, each one of y'all do a jingle. We do a jingle, we go and research Rude Boy, we go and research wherever we approach them with a jingle. They buy into it. They buy into outside jingle, which I tell myself we are the best jingle, but it's well I say the best and what them says the best is 2 different things. You understand?
Did you do an honest comparison of what they had and versus what you had presented?
I'm not a time.
I did an honest comparison, and You know, for me, our jingle is a more melody jingle, but the other people jingle was more, what I say, a form of just mention the product all the time. You say, so I want to do
And that is important. You see what you now say there? That is what the people them who owns that wanted.
Yep.
That is what they wanted.
And hold on, actually,
that is what they wanted, to hear the product mentioned repetitively.
Several times, repetitively.
No,
because
but
that
you
repetitive,
see,
hold on, Safi, that repetitiveness in marketing, remember, that ad is about 30 to 45 seconds long. Henceforth,
exactly.
Hold on. Henceforth, if you, as much times as you could get the name of the product in, you have to do that. All right. So that
but you
is,
see, like I said already,
comes to
it's like when I approach, like I listen Guinness ad, Magnum ad, other people ad, right? And I assume the way the format they use will be suitable for that product. You understand me? So I try to template something from previous beverages that their jingles are used. They're using the jingles and work with that.
Now look at this here. The root boy is a beer or a tonic?
Tonic, I say. Tonic drink or something, yeah.
If you say about a beer, it's gonna be more party type, more fun type of a drink. You drink it talking about a tonic wine, you want a message to go out why this wine is good for you in so many ways. So you gotta be careful how you pick whatever it is, you know what I mean?
So
but how much you only could put your best foot forward and hope people buy into it.
Well, see, that's how it comes back to what Martin was saying in the first place. Martin is telling you, if you're being a manager, you gotta be a manager. If you're being a DJ, you gotta be a DJ. What he's telling you there, what you talking to me about there is more like a producer that's sitting and listening properly if this makes sense or not, to present for something that is specific. You know what I mean? So you as a manager, you're just looking at things in a different aspect, a different way. You know what I mean? So everything has a line now, a way of dealing with things.
DJ Safi, I don't think you know me, Safi, but I've been working in the advertising part of the industry for well over a decade. Been doing work in Ghana, Jamaica, all over. And from a marketing point of view, right? There are lots of things that makes an ad or a jingle be how it be. Each company has its own guideline, its own rules that it has to go through.
Correct.
You see, I got to you well. You see, I understand the word you mentioned guidelines. So when we pitch it to them, right? You know, it's basically you gotta reach out and say, okay, like the concept, like the artist, but it's distributed. Remember, we use the jingle without no guidelines from them and try to sell them.
But in the marketing realm, right? When I first started out as a graphic designer, right? I doing work for everybody, Stereosonic, everybody, trying to get the boss. Hey, just tell them is did this.
Trying to get the power. Trying to get the power. Now, good. Why for the boss?
Good. Good. And nobody would never try to like put me on. They would never try to put me on. And I realized, and I used to be angry. I was like, yo, I know these guys for years, how they treated me like this. But I realized when I go and work in a professional settings now, I realized that how you approach people, these companies will view you as mediocre. And one thing would make a company view you as mediocre is offering something free when they don't know you them have no relationship, no anything. They like to pay. Trust me, they love to pay.
Correct.
They want to pay for everything because they don't want no backlash. They love to pay. So when you approach them in a certain, listen to me. You could approach, let me say Exxon. Let's say Exxon. Just using an example. Let's say Exxon got a show, right? And they was like, okay, we want some artists to go on the show now, and they contact you now. DJ Safi, we see you got some artists here. We wanna book them now, and then now, all the previous artists before charging 3,000 US, and then now we can charge this is not your real price, just a random price I give you 50,000, 60,000, 70,000, that's 100,000. The price alone, it shows that it's like they're taking a risk, you know, and they view it as yes, and they view it as mediocre. And so I love what you've been saying so far, but I don't like the part with offering free stuff. Nothing is free.
No, it's not. The jingle aspect is not offering free. The jingle aspect is we do a jingle, present it to them for them to buy it. So that's what I say. When we present it to them.
So who paid for the production of the demo?
No, it was.
Safi, again, Safi, what we've been trying to instill or direct is the aspect of business. You got to look at it totally from a business aspect. So even though you might be saying you went ahead and did it for free, or you just did it to present it, there is a cost attached to that. To make it, to
record it, mix it. The
exactly. There's always a cost attached. This is business, my brother.
The most important part I want to know is how much versions of this one jingle you actually did.
Yeah.
Huh?
How much versions of the jingle you did?
Yeah.
Just one.
See, that right there is the problem. Because with a vision board, you would have had at least 30 visions, 30 different versions. So to present one to a company, like Keen mentioned, that is why they turn it down. Because if you had 30 different things for them to choose.
No, like
let me say one thing. Will I say one thing?
Yeah.
Will I say one thing? Most of the time a company brings out a product, they will have certain guidelines where they want the jingle to sound like, certain wording, certain things. They will give you actually a blueprint of what they want to hear, right?
Yeah.
So they would sell that to an advertising agency. What he was referring, he has some extensive experience working for advertising. They would consult an advertising agency to source that particular. You understand what I'm saying? Your approach, however, how it was they already sourced and they have that hence reason. It's not that they choose a next jingle over your jingle and that your jingle is not good. They already source and get what they want to hear, and that is it with these people, and then that's how they look at it and whatnot. You understand me? For you to actually make a penetration to them, they have to actually looking and you get that inside information as to what they are looking for. You understand me? That they're looking for that. For you to have a chance to actually be, for your jingle to get by.
I understand all of the aspect, right? Like I say, all of the aspect I take into consideration before, you know, and like I said already, whereas when me experience in Guyana, this is my experience in Guyana and those stuff. We do couple ads, you know, with the same formula we use. And we get through with the same formula. We do a template. We approach the people, like for instance, Fireside, we do one for hotel in Borbis. We just do template and approach.
Right there. You see, Guyana have a different style. Remember that particular product is not a Guyanese product. That is a more international product. So they have a different approach. You can't use the same template for Guyana. The Guyana template will necessarily work for them, the template, and that is what you have to have in mind, that different places, you have to use different aspects. You have to research the international research. That part of be able to capitalize.
Yeah, we do that. We try our best to research, but remember, as I said already, we can't put how much you can put in 30 seconds.
Well, you see, one of the main disadvantage you had is that you didn't know what they are looking for as to the company, those
No,
that
but
deal with
hold
the
on,
One
advertising and so on and so forth.
100%. One
hold
hundred
on,
You
percent.
understand
One
what I'm
hundred
saying?
percent.
hold on, militant.
One hundred percent.
You could put in a lot of words in 30 to 45 seconds, my bro. Because I'll tell you what, I wrote an ad for Natural Black for a housing company called Fabulous Homes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and we were able, yeah, and we were able to roughly squeeze. I mean, a jingle is pretty snappy and repetitive, and we were able to squeeze quite a bit of words and quite a bit of information into that. But it's how the structure of the words are, and this is why part of this discussion we're having this, Safi, is to kind of iron out what exactly are the problems affecting the industry's development, and that would start from example. It will start from the basics, which would have to start from the scripting aspect of it. All right, let's look at it from advertising standpoint. It starts from the script. A movie starts from the script. All right, a
Yeah, we know.
song, right? A song development has to start from the script. Now, I mentioned Jackie's right. I mentioned Jackie's approach earlier to just to let you think, or the audience to understand that really in creating this industry, we have to tap in to each other's capabilities to put it into one project.
Yes.
And we're not saying
Correct.
everybody, we ain't saying all 20 of us or 20 something people got to jump in, but you're looking at efficient, you're looking at who can write. And those writers sometimes don't even come from the exactly like the pool of what we call the Guyanese in regular industry writers. All right. You got to look
Well,
for
like,
people
give me a
outside of that.
minute. Give me a minute. That particular part, right? We mention, right? I agree when it comes to that because when I listen to some artists in Guyana, and so and that's a thing a lot of artists have to realize is sometimes it takes one and sometimes it takes 21. And some artists get it in a way that all the time they can do. So because they're not thinking, like as I always say, they're not thinking about get one to break through. And sometimes with that one you get to break through, it mightn't give you 60% of the gains, might just give you 40. But once you get a breakthrough, everything comes after with the rest of the collection. So a lot of artists don't want to collaborate to write.
No,
A lot of
but
artists don't want to.
Safi, before you go on too far, one of the things that is your job if you're wearing the managerial cap
Yeah.
is to provide advice in terms of which direction the artist is taking. All right, because that's very critical too. Because remember, an artist hires a manager because that's the mirror to the artist, really.
Correct.
All right. That person is the mirror. So that person is giving the artist, they're looking at them and telling them, no, I think we should do these things in a structured manner, not in a haphazard or ad hoc manner that's all over the place. All right.
Exactly.
So
well, with me and all the artists I work with is sometimes teeth and tongue is bite for that because I let them know. I say, does it work? Does you think it move forward in the format you want? Do you want to get help? Sometimes I even put the artist in room and say, yo, let's build a song. You come up with a concept or sing a song. Let us hear with our different ears and try to incorporate each other ideas and input.
But I was mentioning to you songwriters, right, outside of the frame. Have you gone into, because this again, this as everything I'm structuring here is in order for us to understand how the industry really comes together. All right. So we have to, as let's say as a manager, you have to reach out to quite a few writers. All right. Even though that artist can write, okay, you're not taking away from the fact that that artist can write. But one of the things is good in our environment. It doesn't. All what I'm saying here wouldn't work in all the environments. But because of our unique environment, and we have a very small pool of individuals who really understand what needs to be done, you, in order to build the industry, this is not rocket science or difficult to do. What we need to do is to understand. Listen, Safi is managing artists. Okay, Safi, you reach out to a few writers in the business, all right, or even people who are not in the business, but they do songwriting. You get some of their material. You see, this is why Keen mentioned that being an artist is a 24-hour job, brother. Because artists have to understand, from the time you get up, there's an itinerary that lists, okay, from 9 o'clock, after they done do their thing at home, at 9 o'clock, they got to be at the studio. When we get to the studio, we start to review what we had, let's say, dropped last week. We start to review that music. That is not music that immediately goes out. All right? Not because it's recorded, that means it's time to put it out there right away. All right? So you review the music. You also bring in, which I thought was an interesting thing that was happening back in the day, because a lot of the studios used to call me because I was a person on radio really pushing Guyanese music. And they said, listen, come in, listen to the music, and give us your critique. All right?
Yeah.
And what will happen? Ken the beat maker, a lot of the producers, Daryl Pugsley, everybody would then tweet or later on look at it and say, all right, he may have a point, or he may not have a point, or this is what I feel, but at least they're asking you to give your opinion on, and this is how we all collaborate on what is the end product that is now representing the country Guyana. All right. So
facts.
As I mentioned in the beginning of the discussion here, the whole idea of having the discussion here is not to put up issues, or if we do have issues, we resolve them through problem-solving mechanisms. All right.
What's causing us to
exactly
to be headed in the wrong direction, or what's causing us not to
like,
have?
I got a couple minutes more before going to Rachel. It's like, for me, like I said already, we have a problem with that. We want to get outside recognition before we get inside recognition. What I mean that is that we hurry, which in a sense, but we hurry to sell outside something what is not their culture. What I mean, or do we slang our story? You understand me? Our story or our lifestyle. Because sometimes our problems is different from Trinidad. And we could sing our problems, our songs that can relate to our people, and our people help sell it. Because, like I said already, my observation of the Trinidad and the Jamaican industry is, whereas as much as they're aiming for the international market, they focus on their market, whereas their problem, their issue, because they have people all over the world.
Safi,
right?
Safi, just one point. They are able to do that because they are regimes. What you got to understand is that we do not have the regimes that they have,
the mechanisms in place.
And the mechanisms in place. Welcome, Negus to the panel.
Negus.
Bless up. No, the point I'm getting at, right? The point I'm getting at is that, from my observation in our music industry, I hope people won't think it's a racial aspect I'm singing. When we say we have music industry problem, let's look at the chutney. Let me look at the chutney. The chutney artist is traveling. Why? The chutney, the Guyanese diaspora out of Guyana books them to be a part of their culture. So the chutney artists don't have a problem touring, because the people, our culture, the travelers, we remember Guyanese are all over. Guyanese are Canada, Guyanese are America, wherever. Still, we have a society we have to sell. So when people come to our society, they fall in love with our society. You understand me? The chutney art, piece of time we used to depend on Trinidad for chutney industry. Now we don't have to depend upon 100%, but the chutney, why the chutney artists are traveling? Hold on. Why the chutney artists they are traveling? Support base from who? from Guyanese abroad. Why the dance and reggae artists is not traveling? We're not supporting internationally, like the Guyanese society, you know, but reggae artists like Lil J, that's a car, DJ Stars. You understand me? Let me give you an example. Katie Kish was over in America. Katie Kish got crazy, crazy, crazy thing. We know Katie Kish going there. Nobody say, yo, let me get Katie Kish a gig. Yeah, we're gonna look. Matty Queen was over there. Everybody praise, yo, she bad, she ting. How many gigs she had over? Hold on. How many gigs? The point what I'm getting at, whether it's free or stipend or a real book, the other communities endorse what is good coming from them. So if they're a Jamaican society and the Air Naji boy coming to America, first thing, yeah, we know the visa aspect, we could use as guest artists, but if there are a bunch of Jamaican queens, a bunch of Jamaican Brooklyns, they're right, yo, Naji boy guy in Florida. All right. The marijuana, the interlinked, so everybody could be enjoy.
All right.
The aspect of Najiba.
All right, I understand your point. And before I jump in, let me let Negus get a chance because he just joined the panel. Bless up, Negus.
Yeah, I got a couple minutes. I got to do radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Bless up everybody on the live, man. Big up on yourself, man.
Yeah, bless up, Negus.
Respect.
So now we have Negus is an accomplished Guyanese artist as well as militant on the line. But Negus, from your perspective as an artist, I wanna take it from a solution based perspective. How do you, from an artist perspective, look at how we form bonds so that we can work together and improve the music and also to foster goodwill so that we then develop an industry working together?
Well, you see, from my perspective, and one thing could have to happen because the artists them a lot of time I jump on live and I see the artists them doing a lot of work and they're trying to do management work and everything at the same time while trying to be an artist, you know.
Correct.
And
anyway, I gotta do radio. I can't continue, man. Thanks,
all right, Safi, bless
yeah,
up.
man, Safi,
Nice, Safi.
Bless up. Thanks for your input, bro.
Yeah, man, bless.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, man, blessed. Yes, David.
yeah.
Yeah.
One more thing really need for happen is like we need proper road management, we need proper management, we need proper PR, we need proper production. We need proper everything in order for the artists then to function properly. Apart from that, what we see happening, they're getting pull and tug in many different directions. And it just not running straight. It's not running the way that it's supposed to, the way that I know it's supposed to run, you know?
Could it be that that's because there's a bit of injection, in my estimation? It's a bit of I don't know, it's dissatisfaction with the industry. It is
it's all of that, you know.
right. It's dissatisfaction. It's a lack of actual knowledge of what needs to be done. And I think that more artists, based on all these conversations that I think are popping up online across the social media spectrum and platforms, that at this point they should start to get a grip of what needs to be done. Because as you rightfully pointed out, they're online and they're talking about they are the producers of their songs, they're the videographers, they're the people who write. So they want to play every aspect. They even want to play the other aspects, which has to do with the industry aspect of it. Because the first thing an artist has to have is a manager. That manager then brings other people on board on that team, which creates the pyramid, as I mentioned several times before, to push that artist up, or what we say, to project the artist forward. Because you got to have the legal side, you've got to have the marketing side, you've got to have the booking agent aspect of it. So there's several aspects of the business that needs to be involved with the artist. They're image consultants. There's your marketing consultant, somebody who looks at your overall image and decides, I can sell you as, for example, we have St. John, who models as well as he is an artist, right? So is not just one aspect of the business, and I think our artists are kind of locked into just one aspect. And I'm glad that you're here because you have managed to understand that. Listen, you're not locked into one aspect of how you create who you are as that artist, but you use part of that to work your business and also to work your craft as an artist.
Definitely, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Yeah. I feel like the artists them are being pull and tug in different direction, and the people that doing that don't even know the business themselves. You know,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Correct is right. Correct is right.
I was saying earlier, you know, the whole thing is you know, definitely artists is coming to a place where, you know, they always want to try to say that we can do it together. And most times I really know, like, I take good examples, and sometimes I like to look back at the people that really made it in this business. Like, for instance, Bob Marley. Bob Marley came out thinking that the folks that he had around him would have been the best move forward into his career. But then he realized that in order to get into the bigger picture, he had to pull it by himself, have his own band behind him, and then move into what he could have made. It is called partly sacrifices, uh, partly deals with the way that he had to do it and all these different things because, you know, even though people along the line was doing their own thing and having their own way with certain things, but at the same time, he had to string off from three different persons that want to be a star. Because we had Bonnie, he had Peter Tosh, he had himself. All these guys are vocalists that feels that, you know what, we all are at a level. So when these artists coming out together, and I always feel like, yo, we doing this here to push one another, it's hard. You
Yeah,
gotta
but I don't.
recognize who you, yeah.
I don't even think it's like them have to push one another. It's just put in the work. Like just get the work done and stop trying to prove point. You know. I mean, I say like trying to prove on one another. Like who do this, who do that, and it's still not going anywhere. You see me?
Like what
Like
I
enough
just
of
say.
these big artists. Go on, say what you said, Malachi.
Yeah, yeah, but like what I just say is that it have many stars in the sky. And we shouldn't be fighting that kind of portfolio. Egoistically, people does that, but every star in shine shining. Every star, it have
That
many.
is it.
So everybody's a star in their own right. And a whole thing,
Yeah.
and we ought to stop looking at it in that kind of competitive manner and look at it as watch at each other as a motivation. You understand me? In the own aspect of doing what we are doing. You
Which
understand,
is
man?
which
That's
is
the
right.
only
Which
way
is
we
right.
could go forward.
Which is right. And look at it now. You've been an artist as well for many years, you know. And I bet you never seen this before. You never seen this type of thing before. It's crazy, like you can't even comprehend.
I think
But
social media. I think social media have done these artists a disservice. Um, they're just
Correct.
they're just all over every day, all day, and I think it's breaking them down more than building them up.
right. That's it, you know.
Yeah, because if I can see
Everybody
you
have,
every day, if I can see you every day on social media, think about it. If I can see you every day on social media, and
mhm.
soon as every fan message you, you're replying and then everybody inbox and
Access
thing. Why
is too much
why
easy
would
access.
we? Yeah, why would we pay to come see you at a show? No, you gotta be real. We gotta be
Yeah,
real, and we gotta stop buttering up this thing.
You're
Yeah,
When I
correct.
see all
sugarcoating
these,
it.
Correct.
when I see all these artists come together, I don't know if this is a PG show or what, but I just see them as decriing each other. Because they can't push themselves, so they can't push another artist,
Now
and
they
that is
have a
what
little
brings the
Correct.
circle,
whole
you know.
yes, and that brings the whole mediocre or the mediocrity into it also
Yeah.
because
Into the view
because
of it.
remember
Yeah.
now yeah, because everybody's woke now and nobody doesn't want to hear anything negative. So they basically, lots of them basically producing shit, and then the next artist saying, "Yo, bro, build a positive move, bro. Hey, big." And so when they put out a song, it's only the 5 artists in their circle shared it, and the people have looking at it like, what the hell is this?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What the hell is
Correct.
this? And then now
And
there's a lot
hence,
of artists. Then there's a lot of artists that we know that I know that they've been working with producers and stuff, and they've been putting out great quality music, and then lots of them just wake up a day and say, "Yo, I think how much have I paying at this studio is too much," and they start do their own thing, and the quality drop to
Drop.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask, right, Keen, you as a graphic designer, right? How much artists, Guyanese artists specifically, would have reached out to you within the past 10 years?
Within the past 10 years,
Hmm. A
let me see.
guesstimation, of course. Or
I
how
would say
often do they
maybe
actually reach out?
they don't reach out often, and the artists that actually reach out are usually those guys in the diaspora,
Mm.
um, like in America and stuff like that. Um, the artists I'm in Ghana, I can't even get them to come for a photo shoot. I don't know. I
Wow.
don't think they understand the importance of image. They and to me, image is like image
everything.
sells. Yeah,
Image is everything.
You
image is
I
can't get
everything.
that
agree.
good work for me.
Image is the representation of the artist himself.
I'm gonna say something. It might be a little controversial, not to nobody governmentally or anything, right? But
No, man, free speech. We good
I've
over
I've
it.
I've I've been I've been watching the music business in Ghana for years. I've been following all of these artists for years, Migos, everybody. And let me tell you this: is so up till today, I was on a call and I told the guy that, man, say, Keen, I see you make a poster that you retire waste, you stop wasting your life on guy and his artists. And I was like, yo, bro, the things that I've seen, right? And this is a true story. This is just my perspective. I could be wrong, right? But
Mm.
a few years ago, right? Niggas brought Javalani to Guyana.
Yeah.
Good. Them time Javinani blacker than mini cap.
Yep.
You see? And that time I was lucky to be in Guyana at the same time. I was fresh from Jamaica too. So now I'm looking at this whole thing. I'm looking at this whole thing now. And Javalani is, as a Jamaican now, he looking at what? Nigos is here, like a brown youth. And then he's seeing the love and everything, and the whole thing with Malcolm and everything, and we got the big show and everything. You know, after that show, Javalani went on the ground and came back out brown like Nigos.
Mm-hmm.
The man even started melody up his thing like Nigos.
Yep. Yep.
Javalani was a straight chopper, a bad man artist, you know.
Yep.
Still a bad man artist, but he learned and
He rebranded himself.
Yep.
Good, and that's why now I'm before all of this industry talk, we need to sit down together as creators, pen the legislation that we want passed, and then funding somehow and get people to lobby we need our intellectual property right laws updated and all of these things. Because for the past couple of years, I see that the Ghanaian community has been creating content, say we put it out to the Guyanese community, but people in other countries now, in other islands now, who have the mechanisms now, they're listening. They would never share, but they say, "What would a man say about buying the TV? This thing, they're gonna make a song." They listen to Ken Rhythm.
Correct.
They listen to Ken Rhythm. What is rhythm bad? It's like a sandstorm rhythm. Bad. 2 weeks after, DJ Rush Boss a rhythm song in nearly the same way. I'm there, right there in Jamaica live. I seen the whole thing. So we need protection for our stuff because
correct.
It's not that the Caribbean are not seeing us or the people in America are not seeing us. They're seeing us, but they know that we doesn't have any system in place, so they could just use us to get ideas,
to build material
and build their stuff and build their material. I don't even know why people try to sell music in Guyana, because Guyana is a country that consumes music. We don't buy music. We consume it. We don't buy
That's
it.
a fact. That's a fact.
You know, so I would advise every manager, whoever's in charge of these artists, to find the markets where music are sold, the type of music that they produce are sold.
Yeah.
And then in the Ghana realm now, as long as the song done code up and everything and I can track it, they could do it as a little promo within this territory alone, because we could geo-block everything and get everything specifically to, you know, they can one or two people know it, you can try to go wrong it, but
Well,
like I said, the majority of the people doesn't have the time.
That's a whole field of discussion there that we have to deal with them there.
It's a process.
With learning what there's a whole field of information there that will take a lot of
I
time.
think it's needed and it's relevant now in this internet age. It is very relevant now, and we don't have 5 years to catch up. We catch up like last week. Yeah,
that's facts. We don't have years to catch up.
So let me tap in, right? I would have known when niggas, because I always in the background. So I knew when niggas then brought Javi the 1 year. Coincidentally, I brought back Javi the other year, and he was definitely a little bit lighter. No shade on the side. I didn't learn the overall concept of the imagery, because I thought he was a bad man artist, so I thought he was a very nice artist. I still do think he's a nice artist, but when I hear Niggas, and when I got around Niggas and I hear and I see certain things, I'm like, and I experienced it live and direct, even when we went to Jamaica directly for this thing, right? Yep. And we made some moves and we expected certain things to happen, and then we realized we still waiting on this end for things to come out, and nothing manifested. So I then understand fully of the imagery and the thieving aspect that took place over time. Inside, because even now, if you go back and look, you can see things different now. Things very different.
Yeah,
very different. Very different. Exactly. You got the color like niggas. You got the hair, everything, the melody up and everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Clear as
Don't worry, man. Don't worry, man. I'm full of style, man. I have more style,
but we're not here to knock on him or anything, right? Because as long as we don't have
it's a good thing, It's a good thing because watch this now. Remember when I brought him to Guyana, it was really to help grow our industry, help teach our artists. Our artists can look on them and see how they do things and try pattern the thing and try help push the business, bro, and help the thing. It's always been the objective, and instead of them doing that, they kept shows with him, they run behind him, they push him as an artist, and I mean bringing Kong Guyana, for help the thing, and they end up help the artist for boss, while I'm still there try do the thing and they turn. Enough of them turn them back for me too. You see me? They never look at it and say, watch Niggas a bad artist, make we try follow them footsteps, they make we try do them things there, make we try work with
elevate,
right. Instead of do that, they might try size up, they might try fight the thing, bro. And people, you see a lot of these artists now, like Javi and them, they understand the game. So any opportunity they get, they're gonna use it, bro. So I'm not even upset, bro.
No, it's not about being upset. Yeah, it's not about being upset. It's not about being upset. But we see
we see what happened and you understand the position we're in with the lack of IP.
The thing is, right, I also want the listeners to understand the fact that Guyana don't have any coverage over the IP currently. That shouldn't stop you from sending out a cease and desist letter once you see something or once you hear something. For instance, Keen, you mentioned you heard the rhythm in Jamaica, right? From Ken. Now, let me ask you a question. I don't know if you know, but did you guys send out a cease and desist after you heard it? Did you pattern everything? Because you are already on the grounds in Jamaica. That's the easiest place to drop a lot so quick.
The most I could have done, right, or the most I did actually, is that I brought it to their attention, and he might have talked to whoever's the boss, and they would decide what decision they will make. I just happened to be there, and that was it.
Okay.
And that was it. But but even though all the Jamaica have all these things, they still have some of the same problems that we have
Yeah.
because it's like a million artists, and it's crazy. It's crazy.
I
So
agree.
there's a heightened level of competition. That is what happens when you have a lot more artists and all of them trying to get through the door. There's a
Mhm.
heightened level of
Yes.
competition. So
You're also
Competitive.
saying something.
yeah, it's extremely competitive, and this is what we, with the opportunities we have, we're kind of more a laissez-faire kind of population with the music,
Alright, but
because
Good. Because
even if them competitive, bro, them not even competing the right way because they're not
Mhm.
doing no music. It's just a lot of chattings and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's
But
no
exactly.
With
action,
no
no
storyline and messaging.
nothing,
yeah. Hmm.
nothing.
And
You see
that
me?
is the thing I think we Guyanese are missing, the being competitive on a professional format. Because
Yeah.
while you competing, you still have to compete to standard. And
Correct.
all we
To
Guyanese, or
standard.
majority of we Guyanese people, don't even know the standard. For instance, up to this today I was telling Malachi I came across a video with Bunjigalin from Trinidad, and he was saying, well, back in the days, everybody come to New York, they got sleep on the ground, they got stay this full 6 months on a visiting visa, whereby if you even get booked for this first show early in the year and you leave New York, you missing out the show in Long Island, you missing out all the events that coming all the way down to Miami Carnival with finishing off the carnival season and then head back to Trinity. And Militon,
Hmm.
you could actually speak on this directly because you would have been one within them time and them experience to understand well how that aspect went about.
Yeah. A lot of it is a much is plenty sacrifice, not as people would look at it and see it. Because apart from that, a lot of the artists like I don't want to call names per se from Trinidad here, but a lot of the artists who was mainstream to say who win like a soca monarch or road match, they themselves water down the value of the artist and the value of the artist's work performing by agreeing to ridiculous prices and conditions. You understand what I'm saying? Whereby I contributed to that treatment or that way how artists, uh, the environment artists met going at that point in time. After a while, it changed back to when Marshall Montano, um, not to say Mooney Marshall, man, I had to put first this man, with the cap and anything, his name is again, boy, he win a lot of road match and thing at that point in time. He never come back to me just now. But these GAM artists, they set a standard whereby to get better accommodation, apart from the accommodations, where the artist wasn't exclusive because a lot of the promoters at that point in time used to try to make the artists do exclusive contracts to the promotions alone, for instance. So that used to cause them, as Bonji Garner explained, that they used to cause them to lose out on a lot of other promotions because of that exclusivity that they use, that contract they signed to be exclusive to that said promoter who bring them up at that point in time. Because he or she will say, well, you had to work for me and do X amount of shows, and then the other shows, you know what I mean? You will get X amount of money and whatnot. Um, when I went up there back in 2001, where the conditions was a bit different, um, what happened is a lot of the promoters that um, did the visa and whatnot for me to go up there, they themselves was telling me one price, like for instance, 1,500. I'll just give an example, 1,500 US for the boat rides, right? They're telling me that is what they're charging, but behind the scenes now, they themselves was charging 2,500 US dollars. You understand, man? And unbeknownst to me, you understand, man? It's until I did, and that's something artists have to do as well, because certainly within you have no manager. When you have no manager, these exploitations will take place. But because I didn't have no manager per se to check out these things, the personnel that was looking over me was the personnel that was a part of the labels like the ritual music, the Lauren O'Connors and them. And what was happening at that point in time, I had us to be a manager for my own self. You understand me? Because I'm not having a manager. Whereby a manager is very important. As an artist, you need a manager to overlook, as we covered them grounds early on. That's the most of what was covered is what a manager entails, what a manager responsibilities are. So I don't need to go back there. You know, guys? But going forward without a manager, the disadvantages of not having an artist and having a hit song and not having a manager, what will happen is that these exploitations will take place if you don't know, and if you're not smart enough, it will continue. Whereby smart enough to ask questions. We answer me, because these people and them who was my handlers, they was like, answer me. They was handlers, not managers. Handlers in the context that they was the promoters and them who write filed for the visa and think to bring me up to do shows with them. And Lauren O'Connor and them, who was the ones that licensed my song at that point in time with Richard Music, they are the ones who connected with these people and them to do so.
So
none of
the
them
reason I swing that way, right? The reason I swing that way just now is because if back in the 90s, or probably even before, but I'll stop at the 90s and then come forward, if from then we had this same problem that we have in 2024, and in Trinidad it didn't change, in Jamaica it didn't change, and we arguing now in Guyana about the same thing, then something wrong with we set the people. Because it's impossible for half of the crowd to understand.
Let me tell you what is the problem, Martin. What is the problem is this. You see the word we have after music on this here program, industry. We never industrialize. We never industrialize our music. Meaning
is right.
Meaning governmental aspect of it, as America did with their music. Jamaica did it, England, all them. They industrialized these things to put a certain protection. Understand me? And have the musical courts, musical lawyers, all the rules and checks and balances that surrounds the musical industry, your image, your likeness, your content, everything. That is why we have the problems we have, and is due to that. You understand me?
Yes, sir. Yep.
So we are used as a blueprint, basically. Good stuff that we produces or half they would use it as a blueprint, because we have no protection to protect that aspect of things. They get away with it. You understand me?
Correct.
For you to litigate, you have to litigate from in the US and them other places with evidence.
And the fact that we are losing as an economy in Guyana is losing actually billions of dollars just from IP alone. Because I'll give you one small example. The company from the US, Remax, came to Guyana, took an impressive photo of the Kaitours, and used that as part of their marketing strategy in Guyana.
Because it have no intellectual property protection, and image protection. These things are not a part of the equilibrium or the mechanism of the law or anything along that line. So that's why they could do these things and get away with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So in the end, right, Keen, you mentioned we actually coming together as creators and penning the legislations ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Now, you would have been in the creative field for a while now, right? On that one side, the marketing and advertising, which is very important in the business. I in management, Malachi in radio, Sherwin in radio, the two artists that we have on the artist perspective, right?
Yeah.
How best could we actually come together with our little knowledge and put a booklet together? Because this is really people where we show them at this point, a booklet.
Publish a book.
Apart from a book, and much folks don't like to read. I think we need to do a documentary or document it visually. A visual
visually.
documentation is like a book as well, but just a visual viewing of a book. Where
Yeah.
I think that will be more effective than a book because people like to see more than read. Yeah, and you know that. Read is
Yeah,
one of
and
the hardest things people to do. You understand, man? So I
exactly. A
think
video be
a
more interactive.
documentary is more something more feasible or something making more sense for us to do pertaining to this about, you know what I mean, how to go
Yeah.
about it. One of the main thing, as I said before, we need to industrialize or think about it, at least think about
God,
it as an industry and go approach it as an industry, industrialized
God.
Yeah.
aspect of it.
So before we
You understand me?
even
That's one of the main
start the
mindset
lobbying,
and approaching it.
sorry. So before we even start the lobbying, there should be
Mm-hmm.
a body that should be created that represents creators. We can be everybody.
Mhm.
And then
Correct.
anything that you're doing, you take it through this body. The individual thing don't work. Businesses um don't recognize individuals, and governments don't really recognize individuals like that.
Correct.
You got to be like,
They
you know,
recognize a body, a unified body. Unified body.
go. Remember, the thing is called business. So as long as we're going into music business and we're going to setting up business, and it's business we're going to do with the government, with them to
Yes,
pass
yes.
this
Exactly.
legislation.
Exactly.
Good.
And the word
So
industry doesn't mean one person. An industry details a body of people.
it's a body of people. It's a body of
Well,
people. But I'm gonna tell you this
I
straight.
think
There are people in Guyana actively. We're talking about people within the creative field that are fighting all the strength to don't get IP laws because
Mm.
they benefit greatly, like millions and billions of dollars
Them
yeah.
teaching easy.
of exactly of ripping off people's stuff. So
Yeah.
and a lot of these people are the people who close to the governments them, and they be doing their own lobbying too.
Facts.
So I think it's time to just stop talking. Everybody get together. Who we want come, don't come, but get an organization in place now who is going to pay attention to the rights of creators, and it's through this organization now is where we'll do everything. If the
Mhm.
Hmm.
legislation have a right, they can have a right. It's not an individual nothing. Everybody gotta agree.
Yeah.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
then now as an organization now, we will be able to talk and do business with other music organizations, like for instance JCAP and these different places. We could go and talk to them as
Yeah.
individual, but they can't really deal with us as individuals like that.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's a
yes.
fact. That's a
To
fact.
that to that,
These
to
are
that
facts.
level. When it comes to sharing, the sharing of knowledge sharing and transferal and all of these things here now, they wouldn't do it to an individual like that. So we got to get the body in place who could reach out to all this space and get all this support and everything. Trust me, these the music industry, the people in the music industry, the big music industry, you think they won't happy to make money off a Guyanese music? They would happy. They don't care what you sing about. They
But
don't
we
care if
need
you
to
sing about
That's
scamming.
industrialize the thing and organize
but
it as such for it to be
that's
for we to get that.
Okay,
that's
I
some
can mute my
nice
mic
free money
because
there, Key.
I,
Mm.
yeah,
Sorry,
I can
just
mute my
cutting,
mic. A
but we
plane
need to
coming next to me.
we need that. We can't get it no other way because I didn't get to finish what I was saying about my experience. I mean, I was to touch as well about what I was to be signed by Sony Records, and due to not having the right representation and we the people that was representing me at that point in time did not sign and did do the right thing in that one of the content that they used for one of the songs that I did was a simple thing that people that are simple taking a sample from a song you need to write in the name of who you take it from. You understand me?
You
A
need to
simple
sync
thing
right.
like that. You understand me? If that simple thing like that could cause you to lose a whole deal. So therefore these are the things, and that is because of not knowing. And I get to know at that point in time, but the people that was representing me at that point in time, which is Caribbean Sound Basin, they was unscrupulous into say the least as to making it known or writing in the credits for these people. And so when the deal went and Sony the final signing was to take place, and that discrepancy was noticed by the said personnel that the song came from, which is a Pumpkin Fine affiliate of Sony Records Europe. It proved that we didn't know what we're doing here, and also that it make we look as we are frauds and thieves. You understand me? So
Yeah.
when you approach it as an industry, these is the things you just, the I's that get dot, the T's that get away by when approach is being met by a big industry. We have no problems. We are transparent, we are comfortable, and we doing things in the professional manner. And that is the first foundation in which we have to start this body that we are thinking about following. We have to go according to the international guidelines. The industry that we are thinking about have to be onto the international guidelines of industry, not only Guyanese and thinking about it Guyanese wise. No, 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 no. We have to do it on the international template. You understand me?
I agree with
So,
100%.
and that is the only way we will get what we are looking for from the international body or industry like the Sony Records, the Atlantic Records, of doing distribution deals and making money off of Guyanese artists. That is the only way it will be possible.
I agree with you 100%.
Yep.
100 for real.
Yeah, so we got to start somewhere, and sometime we got to stop talking and put in what we know into action. We can't wait for I don't think we can wait for all these artists get up to speed, work with who you're working with, and whoever will get pushed through the gate is going to get pushed through the gate. And trust me, warm a body and does what the body is mandated successfully. Let's say 1 case, 2 case. Because of how the industry is set, everybody will be following, they'll be flagging you. They'll be running. Because they want to replicate that same success, and they know that they cannot replicate that success with the current team that they have or with the current knowledge that they have. And
correct.
So I like what you guys doing here. Having the talk every week.
We could start with us. We could start with just us here. We start here. This is the first names.
No, not for Guyana, but you can't start with
and then just add the others as we go along to make the body bigger. Recruit and get other personnel in place. So we started with us.
I always tell people too, remember say the artists them that's fighting up the game right now and they're not doing the right thing. You don't even have to worry about them. Remember say the youths are the future, so you're gonna find that one day it's gonna come where you're gonna have 100,000 Guyanese artists were brand new to the ears, and you would be in disbelief to see how them would have turned the business where a handful of artists could not turn. You see me I say? So with time, artists come and artists go, the only thing remain is the music live forever. So the more trash they make is the more them just embarrass themselves. But you're gonna find good artists as we go. So you just have to build the facility to facilitate them,
Create the right foundation is the key.
Correct.
Yeah, and don't worry about me.
Correct is right.
But the beauty of artists them that's doing it right now. Don't worry about us because we are already doing it. Enough of us feel like we know everything. So we're just doing everything. Me myself, more time in the spot with me, I have to just do everything sometime, Thank God Malachi there and Martin there, and I get the extra help, and sometimes I get things done differently because me have my team. You understand? I have more people on the team too.
Yeah, we got enough people on the team. It's a whole string.
Right, Guyana. To be honest, Guyana is the home. Them say dance a yard for you, dance abroad. So we are do the work, we put in the thing, and we're not leaving Guyana out. So we could have been bombing everywhere else, and we can drop music everywhere and don't mention Guyana none at all. But then when them realize, they would have said, watch how much work they're doing, and they don't even mention Guyana one time. So
no, but they can't put you in the category because they could go and look on YouTube and see the video with you on the biggest dancehall stage internationally in Jamaica, and you're holding up your Guyana flag. Plus, when you come out on stage, you say Georgetown, Guyana.
Remember, say I'm representing Guyana from day one. From Militant, they drop it first set a tune over Trinidad when Militant was tear up Trinidad, wicked at one point, no joke, right? All them time enough Guyanese all frightened to say them are Guyanese, Them live at Trinidad and them frightened to say them are Guyanese and them thing there. You see me, I
No,
say,
but at the point in time, when I boss back then, I always push the Guyanese aspect of my identity because from an accent they could I hear it. You understand me?
Wow.
From an
But man,
accent they
show
could
you,
I
Good
hear
night.
it. So it
man,
was
show you.
known. They try their best to thief my identity as a Trinidad artist because of the power of this song. Plenty people didn't realize what was going on because they at the time was like when I did them songs, Trinidad was doing groovy soca. You understand me? They was doing power
Right.
soca alone and whatnot. So when I bust back with that groovy flavor and it did what it did, a lot of them fight to put it as Trinidad to get the
Your
credit
music,
because it's here I grew up and here I live in.
yeah, man.
But
Your
the
music is
aspect
tear
of
up the
my
streets,
birth was always predominant, even though they didn't try to publicize it. The people that was handling me at that point in time, which was Amar, never knew they didn't you see music videos and them things. They never do none of them things. Them song and them do what they do by the power of the creator be. You understand me? The creator, the
Yeah,
universe
yeah,
power
yeah.
and the destiny of the song. It was never marketed in the right way to the artist and even my biography. Most people don't look and type in and look at the artist bio. They would see that Guyanese born. You understand me? So,
Mhm.
but within the whole vibes now, they themselves in Trinidad in the media and the main media that sell people astray and encourage the wrong kind of narrative to suit the narrative. You understand me? Where they try to push me as a Trinidad artist. The public and them was confused. They thought I was an artist from Barbados and Antigua and all them kind of things. So a lot of that was out there as well. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
there was
So I
those in
never
Trinidad
know.
and Tobago could have do that kind of music because were identifying with that kind of music and style of music at that point in time. You know,
For
so
real,
a
man.
lot of misconceptions and misinformation was tossed out there at that point in time. And people
Mhm.
just run with what they get, or what they take of it, or whatever they want to go with, you know. But
Well,
that was always a foundation.
as
Mhm.
a Guyanese,
Right.
I only learned that you're Guyanese. I'm talking to Militant. Only learned you're Guyanese through Malachi. Malachi said, "Yo,
That
Militant, the
that
Guyanese." And I'm like, "For real?" you know.
yeah, that's what
But
I
let
say.
me
Me
ask
know
you this. Let me
everything
ask you
about
this.
you, man.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Have you ever
Okay.
looked into my bio?
I never. To be honest, truth, I never look into a soca artist yet. I am in love with reggae and dancehall.
Hence
That's
the
how
reason why. Hence the reason why you didn't know because in my bio would I get that information right there. And a lot of people, general public, no disadvantage. A lot of art people out there,
no, it's
they
not
don't
that.
look into artist information like their bio. They're just looking at the artists,
The
But
and they
artist.
then,
will go with just what the artist bringing presently. They don't look at as in depth unless the artists themselves do a documentary or something about it where they can look at. Hey,
Mm.
I didn't know that. You know?
and
But once it has something
and
for them to read, once it had to do for people to read, anything to do with people to read is a problem. Whereby you have to
no,
read the
no,
bio.
that is very similar. What you're talking about the Militant is very similar to what happened to Negus in 2013
Yes.
when he dropped that wine there with conscience, right? Because everybody thought at that point in time, now this guy could not possibly be a Guyanese dropping
Look at that.
that
Correct.
hit song in
And I
2013
know
with
this song too.
conscience, right? All right, yeah, you know the song, bro. It's all over, right? But when it came to Guyana now, they only found out is when they fully find out about that niggas. When we did the first show, right?
Yeah, 2015. I'm called the
2015.
Yeah,
Jabelani.
Yeah,
2015.
right. In
That's when I found
2015 is when right is when Guyanese discovered and this is a thing that I mean as personalities in the industry, right? We have to kind of in order to create a web or a network, we have to, like Militant said, when you see somebody or you see an artist or you hear something that may link them to a Guyanese, why not check their bio, check their history, find out how they're integrated? Because one of the things me and Martin do, we have been able to track down first and second generation Guyanese. We talk about Guyanese who born in New York, but still hold Guyana as, hey, that's hometown.
Mm.
All right. And because of that, we've been, well, you could hear this if you listen to my show on Majestic Music Radio and four other radio stations in the morning. You know that I pull music from all over the world in order to give an image overall of the music content of Guyana. And these are all Guyanese artists that live all different parts of the world. They have different levels of production, all of that going on. You know, so
Did you guys know? Continue.
No, I'm just saying in closing, we just have to be more proactive in seeking and searching out our people and connecting, creating that network, because other people are doing it. This is how, for example, and not no knocking on the Jamaicans, but this is how they operate. Negus knows this, Martin knows this. All of us who've been in Jamaica, including Keen, you know how they operate. It's about a network. From Kingston to London to New York to Canada, it's all a network, and they all network.
Them have a dance.
Yeah, Guyanese
Canada too as well. And if
a Guyanese wrote a biggest song in dancehall history. Did you guys
the approaches of the industrial mindset, right? That's the whole vibe. Industrial mindset. That's how the Jamaicans approach it. Industrialized. A mindset of music.
Yes.
Go ahead, Keen.
I said, Guyanese have been doing a lot of great work in music. Guyanese got like one of the biggest songs in dancehall history where Guyanese wrote, and I'm talking about more than one. Champion Lover. Think about it. Champion Lover. It's not Shabba song. It's Deborah Glasgow song. It's Deborah Glasgow song. Deborah Glasgow's a Guyanese. He said, "Might be as good as the rest of them. Might be as bad as the worst, but don't test me. Like I tell you now.
Don't test me.
No, you.
I try to push me over.
Pull it up, man. Pull up Deborah Glasgow.
Deborah Glasgow. Food for thought. Food for thought.
And I only know these things because I'm obsessed.
I like that. I like that, my brother.
And I got not one of the largest reggae and dancehall archives in Guyana. From 19 whenever to now.
I wouldn't doubt that, bro.
I know you've been looking. I've been looking, and I was like, yo, where are the Guyanese in reggae and dancehall and soca? Because when all of these things started, it was like a collective. It was a Caribbean thing. Yeah.
You remember we had Cracker Jack and all them people was
Patches.
well involved in the music. Patches and Trevor Ranks, all them people.
Yeah, but my question, I have a question now. So if we're doing all this great work, bro, why we still in the same position? And then you have me on this side now where I feel like we're not doing much and we are doing much.
It's the protection, my brother. It's the overall protection and consolidation of what we have as a culture.
Even myself, bro, I drop at least 60 bangers from Guyana and they all mix and mastered at top quality and it still don't get no recognition. I'm still looking for it.
I think we need to put Guyana in a time capsule and just wait and come back and see what happens.
Guyana is somehow, even with the whole thing about Guyana, if you look at other than music, Guyana don't even sit and take time out for their own. The people that is really iconic in that country as historians and all these different things.
Correct.
They don't really put that energy into those type of things. And like I said,
exactly.
It is a reason. The reason for that, for me, it's all because of how the country was directed politically and how the country was directed. Yeah, how the country was directed is that when one government is in power, they focus on only who they want to focus on. When the other government is in power, they focus only on what they want to. So the people now is just confused, you know what I mean? And you put them in a fix that, what really is important? So we ain't gonna even celebrate nothing. You understand? So this is where we at as a people in the whole. And you gotta.
Guyana's a different dimension, but but good comes out of Ghana, you know. Great things comes out of Ghana. Think about it, right? Um, every Jamaican artist that I know personally, glad to come here. So right now, right now, if I had two more rooms onto my house, I would have got people living in the back in them two back room. That's right now. You got no,
King.
no. You got you got to understand. You got to understand. Ghana is because Ghana is not a place known for creating music in this era. It's a place that just absorbs. Just wherever they're pushing out from wherever, we just absorb it. So that's why now Ghana is like the prime place for like we call entertainment tourism. Where you could bring all the artists and everything here and everybody come from all over the world, and party and stuff like that. Ghana is poised in kind of like position like that.
Like I think Jackie would have explained it perfect last night on her live, whereby she mentioned Guyana is like the mother to the Caribbean and the rest of the planet. So we
Exactly.
nurture everybody and take in everything.
Exactly, because some artists that I know who got 250 subscribers on YouTube come to Ghana, stand up in front of the 10,000 crowds. So now the video go up next morning, they got 50,000 subscribers and all these things. It gives them the visual that they need to put in the EPKs, so they could market it out to go to Europe and go reggae on the hill and all these different places. That's their goal. Again, it's just a stepping stone to solidify yourself as an artist that people
I've been saying that for quite some time, my bro. I've been saying that for a very long time.
Out of Guyana, man, except our artists,
Yeah.
Exact. And it's by design. Don't get it twisted. It's by design.
Yeah.
It's by design.
Yeah.
See, we've been saying this over and over till it becomes kind of cliche, but the majority of us generally, because of our history and how we grew up and the whole history of the country, politically and everything, most of us doesn't want to see each other win.
Yeah.
Facts.
It's like Niga said earlier. It's like Niga said earlier. He would bring industry people into the country to show and teach us certain things, and then they would try to whisper in people's ears and say, "Yo, we got the place lock over here." And I've experienced these things like live.
That's backbiting business.
Because
just for my own personal gain, Keen, you mentioned earlier that while some people is helping to push forward the industry, there's also a group of people working against it. Would these group of people been in existence, Lisa, from the year 2005 or the early 2000s and still existing now? Or is there a new set of people who...
Some of these people, let me answer that for Keen, bro. Some of them people, they're around from in the 80s, bro. Some of these people are around from the 90s, bro. Some of these people are vampires, bro.
So that's why I asked that, because that would give a food to look at.
Bro. Listen, you know why? You know why I said that, fam? You know why I said this? You know why I said so? Because they're still damaging the music, bro, and they're behind the scenes. And if they had the opportunity to do it them times, and they can't do it now, they cannot do it now because technology is not for them. Some of them don't even know how to use the iPhone what them have, what them get for their birthday as a present. Remember, I tell you, they don't know how to function anything, much less for pick up the music in this day and age now for say them are gonna manage or them are gonna help our artists. Them can't do it. We have to look for the people that has been doing it, bro. They have to look for the people that you know why in Canada me is like a tattoo master? Because I've been tattooing from it was pin where we used to wrap the three needle them together. I came from that school. I've been tattooing from pin till I make my own machine, till I buy my own machine, till I have my shop and everything.
That's the full creative school.
Right.
That's the creative school.
Right. And that means that I have been doing it right from day one. If I can't get it right from day one, you think I can get it right now in this time, bro? It's too much. It's too much for them. They can't do it, and in return, it's destroying the business more as the same way as they've done it in the past. Every 10 years. Believe me.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
believe
man.
that. I mean,
I I, I, I,
That's
I
a
I would agree with that statement 100%
yeah.
because
I agree with that 100%.
I
A
agree with
hundred
that
percent.
statement 100%.
Because it
I've
is
been seeing it happening
it's
all the time.
yeah, and they I mean, people are not recognizing, as we mentioned earlier. I mean, now is not the time to sit down and you know
Hmm.
say, well,
Guess.
you
It's
know,
Don't
time to
guess
move
it.
forward.
Don't guess
no,
the game.
no,
Don't
there is
guess the
no
game.
guess game. I
I've
mean,
watched interviews, bro. I've watched
yeah,
radio shows with them. I've watched interviews. I watched the Instagram and Facebook Live. I've watched everything, and I've seen them. And what they're saying, it don't make no sense.
Don't make no
hmm
sense.
Not
yeah,
not
It don't make no
not in
sense.
the day.
There's
Not in today's day.
yeah.
What
There's
they're
no
saying would have
word.
made sense for the
It,
past, but we're not living in the past no more. We
correct.
can't. That
yeah.
not work now.
There's
Different
no
These
era.
word. There's
those
no word to
producers of the
propelling
past
nothing, bro. That man be
have
talking.
recording these artists, has been recording these artists, know that these artists are not signed and they go behind and they go register these songs and they got full ownership of these things and it's crazy what they been doing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not by accident people like burn out some of them, you know.
Well,
It's not by
that's right.
accident that some of them get burned out because it's people because here is it. The only reason they got burned out is because like information start flowing about music business. And then
Correct.
people realize that yo, I've been shortchanged my
Yeah.
entire musical career. But it's
hmm
Guyana. We can't do no lawsuit and all these things here. So knowing how the
There's
courts is
no
a playground
mechanism
to
for
everybody
that.
money.
There's
Exactly.
no there's no mechanism for that. I mean, it's not even that the
Good.
court is a playground. There's no mechanism for that. Which mechanism are they going to use? If at one
Exactly.
point when Rudy Grant went to court and video was not admissible in court at one point in Guyana, I mean, really,
Mhm.
which mechanism are they going to miraculously pull out of it to understand the issue of the protection of somebody's music in a lawsuit? Which law
No,
are they going to use?
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
it's crazy,
Crazy.
crazy. But we got to remember and we got to push forward, and all you guys got to come together and do what needs to be done, like right away, because you
hmm
guys
Uh,
are a new frontier in a banana um boat economy, what I would call it. Because this is what we were created to be, just to farm and send rice and sugar and everything.
yeah.
You know, music wasn't supposed to be something we exporting. That gives
hmm
us too much of freedom.
That cultural
Expect
exposure,
Yeah,
expect
it
the
gives us
unexpected.
freedom.
cultural
Good.
cultural exposure and expression. Them is
Exactly.
the things. Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
with
like
this
you
I said,
rightfully said
we got
earlier,
like
the thing is,
design.
rightfully said earlier, is the thing is making sure that we look away from all these artists and all these people who feel like, we're supposed to be a part of. And just a body has to come together,
Correct
I
is
mean, the
right.
rightful people that can really step up and,
And of
and
course,
Yeah.
bring this.
we would definitely need the assistance of quite a few lawyers on board. And this
Correct
is
is
why
right.
Correct
we,
is
we
right.
keep saying it's an industry that needs certain people. Artists can't be the spearhead of the industry, they are the product of the industry.
Product.
All right.
Correct is
And,
right.
before we wrap it up, I'd like to say thanks to everybody who tuned in, everybody who came in, gave their suggestions. Big up to yourself, Nigos. Also to DJ Safi for coming through and giving us some perspective from his direction in the DJ camp, and as well as the managerial aspect. I mean, from his perspective, what he's trying to apply to the Guyanese market. Shout out to Timo also on the line. Big up yourself, my bro. Closing thoughts for everybody in terms of where we need to definitely tighten up to get ourselves together, as Milton says, industrialize the thing. Let's start with Martin.
Well, I think I'll be
It
repeating
was unfair.
when I say um,
I know wrapping up this thing now.
putting things together is important, obviously, and I think Keen would have mentioned starting, right? Because we already there, but
Yeah.
starting is what we need to do, and I'll definitely begin or continue in a sense, because as I don't want to put out the information before time, but I'll definitely continue to grab more people because we will have started out Malachi with a venture whereby we started to bring on everybody on board. And if
Yep.
they come, they come. If they don't, then it is what it is. But we
It
would
is
have
what it is.
stepped back a bit, after COVID, and we got
Yeah.
busy with other things. So I think we need to pick up back that ball and keep
Yeah.
it moving.
Yep.
Nice.
Sherwin.
Yeah, well, for me, I think everybody should be open-minded and allow what they could not have done for all these years and what they might not have been successful at, which is in the aspect of the music industry coming out of Guyana. Allow it to, be approached, if even as by faces that you don't know, but at least the approach is being made in the sense of creating a body that's going to be lobbying, and not just lobbying with noise, but coming together properly so that they can create that whole professional way of approach, so that it will move
paperwork.
it will move minds, it will move hearts, and also it will make people think about what really it is that these guys are really putting forward, which we know is a reality. They all know about what it is, but it's just that they need to have that energy coming at them with full force.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Nigos.
Jano, I agree with what you said, and I think until we get there, we're just gonna keep trying. And I know this is all crazy, but this all started with me and James on that interview one Monday morning, and I don't even sure the artist got what I was really saying on that interview, or we wouldn't have been here today. We would have been a step or two further.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we're trying to stop all the what's going on to come and build and fix. And I would love for some artists to go back and look and listen at the interviews that I've done. Look at the work, look at the body of work that I've done, as well as Militant. Militant, big up yourself. Big artist that, and you've done the game. You know the game. You know the game more than me because I was a youth when your music used to run Trinidad and them place. I used to go carnival and your music used to run the place. Them time I ain't have a song or dream about one yet. Yeah. So, Guyana, we gonna get it. We gonna keep pushing, and we're gonna find the right people them and in the right place with the heart in the right place for the music, not the ones that just doing it for the hype and don't love music.
Real thing.
Keen, big up yourself. Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, niggas.
Yeah,
man.
All right. Yeah, man. Militant. Closing words.
Yeah, man. I agree with everyone's contribution. Mainly, we have to put some action. We have to put the action in place here right now because we have the information, we have the knowledge of what we need to be doing and where we need to be at. And it only starts with the ones that know it. You understand me? We may get fighting whatever we can study the fight. We have to study the delight of making this a reality and making that mark going forward. You understand me? We have to approach it in the manner in which the international approach. In other words, you understand me? Look at that blueprint and adapt that blueprint to be approaching what we're doing going forward in order for it to become a successful and be recognized. Because these people and them looking in, as we recognize, everybody looking in. And once they see we make that approach, they'll say, well, they're ready, they're prepared. You understand what I'm saying? So, let's take that approach,
All right, Keen. Final words.
Well, the only thing I would like to leave with the artists them is that stop seeing music as a side hustle. Music is a career that would give them freedom way beyond what they get in Ghana right now, like monetary freedom, better quality of life. The thing that they need, that is what music could give them. Creativity was going to give them that. So I wanted to stop looking at this thing as a side hustle and embrace it and create good music.
Yep. Good thoughts from everybody on the panel. This week, we're gonna be doing a lot more of this each and every Tuesday right here on Majestic Music Radio from 7 until we had some issues earlier. We apologize for that. We didn't start on time, but hopefully, you know how it is with the internet. The internet sometimes is good, sometimes you got some freakish problems that just happen, So, but we still have to apologize for that. Thank you to all the people who are on the lives on every platform from YouTube to Facebook and Twitch. Join us here next week. And of course, Sherwin, let's the disclaimer, please, before we wrap up today's program.
Hold on. Yeah. Maybe this thing, but
yeah.
All right. So the views, information, or opinion expressed during this program are solely those of the host, guests, callers involved in the program, and do not necessarily represent the views of Majestic Music Radio, its management, or host, or advertisers. Okay. So that's mainly what we did tonight, was mainly from us
to the world.
Also our guest on the show. All right.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with the radio.
Right. Hope you had a great
guys,
educational session. And of course, check us out next week. We're gonna have a lot more for you in store. Blessings. Have a great evening.
Bless.
Mm-hmm.
Blessings.
Sunday, 31st March, Washiba Resort at Kapui Lake will come alive when Foundation Band out of New York presents Easter Extravaganza. Action and good vibes non-stop, Jomo Rubber Waves.
Every girl in the party now.
And Mystic take the stage live. While Prime Mega Sounds back down, Bobby Kush and Foundation Band from New York will entertain. Get your tickets at Jaigobin Supermarket, White Castle Fish Shop, L&G Liquor Store, Supernam, and All Tens Liquor Store in Anna Regina. Easter Extravaganza, Sunday 31st March at Washiba Resort at Kapui Lake. Compliments M&R Movements, White Castle Fish Shop, 94.1 FM, and Banks.
Continental, girl, I take one me for them.